Type of what?
No
Make
changes.
changes to the OU.
To make changes, we didn't really implement any.
But didn't you have a requirement that,
Requirements?
didn't you have a requirement that managers could create users?
Managers can create users, groups, and new accounts.
Okay, so how were you giving the managers the ability to create the users and groups and stuff inside the OUs?
Delegation, you said. Delegate to whom?
The managers of you.
So the manager could manage everything within within the domain, or just within a certain department, or how do you?
I think it would be per whatever department they were a part of.
Okay. Do you have any remote users at all? People that need to connect over onto your network?
Yes.
We did, one of our requirements was to have that implemented, but we never actually got to get it to our system.
Actually did.
That was
As
just
a
logging
remote
in as a user. That wasn't
No,
remote.
it still is.
And they're connecting over to your domains by way of, is it terminal services or VPN, you were saying?
VPN, coming through the RS.
However, if you are a network admin, you are not connecting using VPN yet.
No, we're about desktop phones.
Okay.
Or
Protocol.
protocol.
We had RDP. RDP was enabled across the network, so.
Is that only enabled for network admins or for
Yes.
like just
No,
admins?
it just, yeah, you don't want to give RDP away to users. Not a good plan.
What was the biggest problem you ran into? The thing that gave you the most trouble?
Mentioned it earlier.
Being on the European side, the little short water fountains in the bathroom. That and not babies for a week. It was terrible. Who's the biggest nightmare, guys?
I was part of the U.S. I would have known.
Biggest nightmare?
Preparing for this was probably this was the worst part right here. Was prepping for
We had to
this.
Reinstall everything.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare.
For U.S. when we
We
had
just
to
start.
redo that.
The nightmare for the Europeans is faulty NICs.
Hardware issues on our side.
Trying to get our computers communicating with each other, having all the configurations right, not even thinking about the NIC. Hey.
Then find out that things aren't pinging because the NICs aren't working was a nightmare. That and the only other thing we ran into was the naming conventions that we were using. And when we were setting DNS up, I mean, you can't have AFP-EU and AFP-EU don't work. They have to be the same.
What would you do differently if you had all the 8 days to do it?
More planning.
Better plan. I would absolutely. There were some things that we did later on in the project, getting everything down, getting everything on the board that we needed to accomplish. Should have been done prior to us even approach. We poor planning. We had decent execution, just piss poor planning.
I like that.
so what suggestions do you guys have for these other people that are going to be coming in and doing this, a similar project?
Leave. Just read the book isn't going to make sense.
Don't let Hy be your
Like,
teacher.
Do your labs.
Do your labs.
Reference your labs.
Reference your labs during the project. Do your labs. If you don't understand what you're doing with your labs, do your labs again until you do understand it, or ask. That would be the one thing that I would say about the labs is a short description of what this is supposed to accomplish with each lab would be helpful as well. So it would help a little better understanding. Would be the only criticism I would have of the labs. Other than that, the labs are great.
Pay attention to the questions.
Did you ask? Did you ask?
No, I didn't. Why would I?
Hi, just like you said. When we learn things and when we do things, two different things, right?
You learn a lot more doing than you will reading it or, you know.
I would definitely say any decision that you make on your project, write down the hows and whys on everything so that if a question does appear about it, then you already have an answer that everyone knows.
Even if you didn't have a chance to implement.
Cool. Good job.